for someone to have had that kind of a visual in mind, and then to be told about the title, Kalki, and 2898 AD, and I couldn't understand that. So maybe you could explain for the benefit of the audience.
Core of the story was the first scene in a way. So 6,000 years after the death of Krishna.
Which is what comes in the subtitle. You know,
yeah. So
6,000 years have passed ever since Krishna gave the shrap to Ashwatthama. Yeah.
So 6,000 years after when Krishna is said to have left his body was 3,102 BC, so to speak. So exactly that would lead up to 2898. The story of Ashwatthama happens after the 18 days of the Kurukshetra.
Yeah.
It happens at the very end, like after the victory, after everything. This is probably
18 days of the war for Kurukshetra.
Yeah. After the 18 days of the war, this is the last thing that happens in the Mahabharata, so to speak. The most important confrontation between the Pandavas and the last Kaurava, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I felt that this was the ending of this story, sort of, but it's also the beginning of another story.
Yes.
And it doesn't finish. Like, I feel it's not finished. We just, even in the Mahabharata, for what I have read, it just is like Ashwatthama is cursed and he walks into the woods. Like, he leaves Krishna and Bhima and everybody aside and he walks into the woods. We don't know what happened to him. So that's like a starting of a story. Now I wanted to know, like, if this man is cursed and he has been witnessing this entire Kali Yuga, like, that's the most interesting thought process, like, because he is this ultimate warrior, but he's not interfering in the events of the Kali Yuga because he has a larger purpose. So I felt that it was audacious in a way for me to attempt to think that I'm finishing something that was left in the Mahabharata, but I was like, nobody's done it yet, so let's give it a shot.
Yes. But why did you think like this? That I want to know what happened after that. Because in a sense, the Mahabharata ended at the end of the war after 18 days. Krishna gives this curse to Ashwatthama, end of matter.
Yeah.
But you said you thought, okay, what happened after that?
I had really loved this dialogue in that first scene, sir. What we did, like, after Ashwatthama says, kill me now, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And then Krishna says, no, death is not a punishment. And then we have a wide shot of this battlefield with hundreds and thousands of people who are dead.
Yes.
And that, for me, even when I was writing it, that just felt like it had a deeper meaning. It feels like, Mahabharata has killed millions of people, but Krishna right now is standing there and saying, death is not your punishment, having to live is your punishment. That just meant, like, maybe there is a whole karmic level to this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And for Ashwatthama also, I felt that anger, like, though he was very cruel in that particular moment, that anger was justified because he just felt that his father was killed very unjustly. And his father was a great warrior and he was killed in the most unjust way. So his anger was justified in his own way. So now his redemption is also very justified. But we never know if that redemption ever comes, because it's not like Ashwatthama is always been evil or something like that. He's actually a very noble warrior. He's meant to be an avatar of Shiva. People say, like, Drona prayed to Shiva to get a rupam of Shiva as his child, and that's how Ashwatthama was born. There's a beautiful, beautiful couple of pages in the Mahabharata that shows before Ashwatthama enters the Pandava camp to massacre the rest of the Pandava army, he sort of, Krishna had put out a barrier. He had put out, like, his magic in a way. He's put, like, the biggest celestial guardians around the camp, and he went back to the kingdom. And Ashwa came and he realized he can't cross those celestial guardians. And for that one time, he became like a Rudra Roop, like he became Shiva. He entered one pyre and he came out like Shiva. And this Kripacharya watching this, and he became so scared, like he actually ran away from that scene because Ashwatthama was so terrible and so magnificent. So that character always intrigued me. Like, you can't have an avatar of Shiva who is the greatest, is the son of the greatest warrior, and not know how his story ended.
So that was the point of evolution of the idea and thought of how to continue with this.
Yeah. And he wasn't also like the most popular Mahabharata character, because from what we've usually exposed to in serials or books or anything, we know about the main ones. We rarely know much about Ashwadhama, but I feel he was multiple times capable of destroying the Pandava army if not for Krishna. Like, there were astras that only he could use, and only Krishna knew how to stop them.
After 6,000 years.
Yeah.